Hello and welcome to Ginny's Gin Livestream. I'm Ginny and Rob is back this week. The shower project is almost complete, so Rob is here. He's going to do a cocktail for us after mine. So Rob and I, together with Jeff and Amy Close, are dear friends. They agreed to found Ginny's Gin with us, and hopefully they're not regretting that, but certainly they have plenty of gin in stock, so that's always helpful during a pandemic. It's September, it's fall, and it's apple season. So today we have a couple of apple cocktails for you. I'm not a huge fan of cinnamon, but when I was researching recipes, there was this one recipe by Molly, she writes a blog, and it's called Yes to Yolks. And her recipe caught my eye, and because she's a food writer, we're actually not going to be dealing with ounces and things. We're going to be dealing with tablespoons and quarter cups and things like that. So, as I say, we now have blue skies. Finally, we're never going to take clear, blue skies and fresh air for granted again. It's been quite a few weeks with a lot of smoke. And obviously our hearts go out to those guys who have, are still suffering with the fires. It's kind of crazy, and we wish everybody the best. Okay, on to our apple cocktails. So this recipe uses obviously apple. It also uses egg whites, so it's a fizz. And then there's also lemon juice in there, and then a little bit of heavy cream as well. So without further ado, it's almost like dessert in a glass. You could even have it for, for brunch, I would say. I mean, I would think like apple pie à la mode. That would be my explanation of the way that it tastes. Okay, so let's get started. What I first had to do was make an apple cider cinnamon syrup. So this is nice and thick, obviously. So what I did is I took a cinnamon stick and then 2/3 of a cup of apple cider, and I added in a tablespoon of brown sugar in a little saucepan, and I just heated it up until I think I boiled it down to about 1/4 of a cup. I think that's about what I have there. So it's nice and thick and lush. So that's my apple cider syrup. So let's start off with, in the cocktail here, 1/4 cup. So this will make 2 cocktails. Generally when you make a gin fizz, it goes in a fizz glass. So the fizz glass has tall sides to it. It can be a bit like a Tom Collins glass, it's slightly wider. And the reason for that is that because it becomes frothy, what you want to do is when you pour in the soda or the seltzer at the end, it goes up just a little bit above the edge of the glass. I thought this was a bit more elegant. I rather like that, and it does have these, tall sides, so that's why I've used this particular glass. It's a type of wine glass, I think, actually. All right, so let's start with 1/4 cup of apple cider. And where we live, obviously in Sonoma County, we have Sebastopol, and we have the Gravenstein apples, and we have all this wonderful fresh apple juice at our disposal. Rob actually took apples and he has freshly juiced the apples. I'm actually taking one of our local producers and I'm using their apple cider. So here we go. Let's see, 1/4 cup of the apple cider. There we go. As I say, we're not using ounces today like bartenders do. This is more of a recipe from a chef. Okay, there's the apple cider. 2 tablespoons of the apple cider syrup. It calls for either 2 or 3. I prefer 2. In fact, I might even not quite go as much as 2. So there's 2 tablespoons of this. This is it. I really enjoyed this actually. The apple with the cinnamon. It was really good. Okay, so 1 tablespoon. There we go. Nice, rich color, dark color. And then I'm going to do not quite another 1.
Scant.
Yeah.
Tablespoon.
Scant tablespoon. There we go. All right. There's that. And 1/2 cup of gin. And as it happens, when I took this out of the freezer, I was like, oh, I wonder how much that is. And I measured it, and it is, in fact, 1/2 cup. So that's quite a bit of gin in there. There's my 1/2 cup of gin.
Jesus.
It makes 2 cocktails, Rob.
Oh.
or one for me. It's Friday. It's been a long week. Okay, there's the gin. Juice of half a lemon. I'm going to use my lemon juicer here. I'll put that over there. Here's the lemon. There we go. We've got some pretty decent lemons. All right. Yes. All right, so half a lemon. Ooh. And I'm going to do this.
A whole lemon.
No, it's half a lemon. Half a lemon. There we go. All right, there's my half a lemon. And I already measured this out, or I just put it in a little jar. 1 egg white. So this is already out and done. Didn't have to do that. So 1 egg white. There we go. You know, the thing about the egg white obviously is what makes it lovely and frothy and gives it all that texture. So we'll see that when we start shaking it up. And then it calls for a splash of either half and half or cream. I'm all about heavy cream, so I'm going to give it a splash of heavy whipping cream. There we go. There's the a la mode. And I think that's it, right? And now I'm just going to add my, no, wrong. So with any fizz, whenever you have egg whites in there and cream, what you do is you shake it up vigorously without the ice. You do that first, so it's called a dry shake. So you dry shake it, and then once you've done that for a minute, then you add the ice and shake it.
The eggs will froth more at a lower temperature.
Exactly. And it emulsifies more easily as well. You know, and a full minute, that's actually quite a long time. I'm going to look at the clock. So I was thinking to myself, what else can you do in a full minute?
Blender.
No, meaning what can you do in a minute? So you could hold a plank for a minute. You could swim a lap for a minute. No, I'm going to do it for a minute. So, and what I want to point out here too is that when you see your bartenders doing this all day long, all night long, I mean, this is actually quite strenuous, and they're doing this, you know, constantly, and they end up, a lot of them...
Bartender's elbow.
They do. They had to get bartender's elbow, and, you know, they do have to, they have to be careful because, you know, we're doing a repetitive motion. Okay, so 1 minute. You can floss your teeth in 1 minute. What else can you do in a minute? Make your bed, Max. I think I'm nearly there. So what we're doing is we're trying to liven up the ingredients here, liven up the cocktail, and get it nice and frothy. So this is how you get it frothy, so that it has a nice head. Okay, so that was a minute. All right, now we're going to add some ice and shake again. Not for quite so long. There's my ice. Oh, it smells really good.
You need the really big. You need this glass. Ginny needs this glass instead for that big drink.
Shut up. This is for 2 glasses. Okay, so now we've livened it up. We're cooling it down now. And we're hoping for this wonderful froth. And actually my arms are getting a little tired, I have to say. I practiced yoga this morning. Whew. So now we can get out and we can swim and hike and feel the fresh air. All right. Now it's frothy and cold. Okay, so we're going to strain it into the glass. But first, before I do that, I'm actually going to take this other half of the lemon and I'm going to just wet the rim of the glass. Get rid of that pip. There we go. And what I've done here is I've mixed some cinnamon and some brown sugar, and that's just going to be the rim of the glass. So, like that. Voila. And there we go. Is this going to work?
I was going to say you shake it off once over the thing. But
okay. Pretty colour. That's good. Ooh. Okay.
It's a small opening.
Yeah. You know what I'm doing is I'm missing the froth here, so I'm going to get some of this out like this. That. It's fine. I'm working with what I've got. Thanks, sweetie.
Looks pretty.
There we go. And then we're going to just add a little bit of soda so that it pops up over the top there. Like this. Ta-da. comes up like that. Looks kind of cool. And then I have a cinnamon stick. In fact, the one that I used to, that's a big one, to make the syrup.
The actress to the bishop.
Said the actress to the bishop. Ooh, it's the big one. Okay, so there it is. It's the apple cider Ginny's Gin Fizz. And Rob now is going to take it away with his cocktail. And I'm going to put this on the side.
Let me grab my glass and a shaker for later.
There we go. All right, so yeah, it is. It's like apple pie à la mode. That's exactly how it tastes. I'm going to clean up my mess here. All right.
My measuring thing isn't here, but that's okay. I'll use yours.
What?
Okay. Hi. Ta-da. Cold glass, cold tins out of the freezer. Makes everything kind of cool. So I'm making a drink using juice, freshly juiced from Honeycrisp apples. And so what I did was I juiced a couple last night and I froze it into ice cubes. So we're going to do a juice shake again so that we don't dilute the juice too much. I've been kind of doing that for a few weeks. Different shake drinks. So just so I don't mess up, I want to make sure to do the gin first. So that I always make sure that I've got my 2 ounces of gin. So last night, I kind of planned that I was going to do 2 drinks today, and one was going to be a gin apple caramel teeny, but I tried making caramel last night, and I need to go back to the drawing board and try that one again. So maybe next week. So there's 2 ounces of gin.
Didn't go so well.
Right? And then we're going to do a 1/2 ounce of lemon juice. And because these are really nice lemons, but they're small, they will fit in the lime juicer like that. And I'm going to measure, and there is our 1/2 ounce. There's our 1/2 ounce right there. So those are pretty juicy lemons. And then I'm gonna use my ice cubes. So this calls for 3 ounces of fresh squeezed juice. So I'm gonna put 2 ounces, 1 ounce each cube of frozen, but instead of putting 3 ounces of frozen, I'm going to do 2, and then one that I just juiced today for drinks tomorrow. More Honeycrisp apples. They're really nice. They've got good acidity and not too sweet. So that way I won't have to shake for a full minute.
Do you want this one? Or are you good?
I'm good. I'm all done.
Okay.
So everything's in the pool. So we got 3 ounces of apple juice, 1/2 ounce of lemon juice, 2 ounces of gin. And then you don't have to add this if you don't like ginger, but I do. So when I finished juicing the apples, I threw a little hunk about that big of ginger into the juicer. I chopped it up, and I came up with a little bottle of fresh ginger juice. And so for this drink, I'm going to put a 1/4 ounce of ginger juice in. And yeah. And if you like it a little bit stronger, or if you don't like ginger, don't put it in. It's pretty good without it. And now I'm going to shake for as long as it takes to melt the 2 frozen cubes. So hopefully that's less than like a minute and a half. It's a one-handed shake. So you could do 2 drinks like this, and then that's my exercise.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about these frozen juice shakes is, man, the tins get cold. You burn your hand with them. They're so cold. Sounds kind of like it might be there.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Oh yeah, baby. And then I did not do a garnish for this one.
Here's your apple. Got a knife there?
Yeah, but you know, what do you do? A slice, a sliver?
Just like a... Yeah.
Ta-da!
There you go.
There you go. So this is the fresh squeezed apple juice shake, Ginny's Gin, ginger cocktail.
Love in a glass.
Yeah, love in a glass.
As always. Well, that was a fairly quick one, wasn't
It was
it?
very
Sorry,
fast.
it was a rather fast one. We'll do something a bit longer next week. And cheers to the weekend, everybody. Enjoy your seasonal produce. As we
All right,
done
caramel
here.
apple teeny next week.
You want to do that one?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, caramel apple teeny.
But with gin.
Okay, of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is there any other liquor?
Okay, it's
All right.
Friday.
Cheers, honey.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. See you next week. Have a great week. Bye. Have a great weekend.
Bloody delicious.
Jolly good.
And not too sweet. That's your kind of drink.